My son told me today was a special day. He was going to introduce me to someone very precious. So, on the evening I was meeting my son's fiancée's family for the first time. I wore the oldest dress in my wardrobe, a faded blue worn dress. It might have been beautiful once, but now it just showed how cheap fabric has rotted over time. My shoes were old, my bag was made of synthetic leather, and the corners were worn. I tied my hair up in a tight bun and wore no makeup. When I looked in the mirror, the woman I saw was exactly what I wanted. Someone worn out, tired and ordinary, crushed by life. Why do you think? I did this on a day my son had specifically told me was his most important day. A day that needed attention? Why don't I prepare like this? Why do you think I didn't prepare like this? My name is Cassandra. I'm 52 years old and I'm raising my son Ethan alone. I never really told him what I did. I just say, I work for a company. He never asked. Maybe he wasn't curious. Maybe he respected my boundaries. Whatever the case, the result was the same. My son didn't know who I was. He didn't know that for the past 20 years, I had been a senior partner at an international consulting firm. He didn't know that I provided strategic advice to companies around the world, that I negotiated multi-million-dollar deals, and that I earned an average of $65,000 a month. He didn't know that my signature had value some people could only dream of. Why didn't I tell him? Because money changes people, especially young people. I didn't want my son to be a lazy, dependent, entitled man. I pushed him to stand on his own 2 feet, to achieve his own success. And he did. He's 29 years old, a software engineer, and works for a reputable company. He lives a modest but honest life. As his mother, I'm proud of myself and my son for being a good parent. This is how it should have been done. My son shouldn't have known certain things. And that's how it happened. Then Isabelle arrived. Isabelle Thornton. Beautiful, elegant, well-dressed. Her father owned a vast real estate empire. Her mother was well known in society. He was an art gallery curator. When Ethan introduced her to me, I saw love in her eyes. But I also saw something else. Shame. So small, so subtle, but it was there. She was ashamed of me. Mom, Isabelle's parents invited us to dinner Saturday night, he said on the phone last week. His voice was tense. At their house. A formal dinner. Please come. Of course I'll come, son, I said. Mom, I have to tell you something. His voice dropped even lower. Isabelle's family. I haven't said much about you. What did you say? Just that you live alone, have a modest job, a simple life. Simple. There's that word again. As if my entire existence could be summed up in that one word. As if a simple woman were any less valuable. I understand. I simply said. My voice didn't reveal anything. Mom, please? Just a little more tonight. You know. What more, Ethan? He took a deep breath. Could you dress more modestly? Not too flashy. They are very special people. Very picky. I don't know how they'll receive you. My heart broke at that moment. But I didn't show any signs of it in my tone. Don't worry, son. I'll dress appropriately. And I dressed appropriately. Like a poor, ordinary, downtrodden woman. Because that's exactly what I wanted them to see. A woman I wasn't. The taxi stopped in an upscale neighborhood. In front of the Thornton mansion. The grand iron gates, the manicured garden, the marble steps. The lights reflected the splendor within. I got out, slung my small synthetic bag over my shoulder, and walked away. Ethan opened the door. He was wearing a suit, his hair combed, and looked nervous. His eyes widened slightly when he saw me. He glanced at my outfit, then quickly at my face. He didn't say anything, but his expression showed a hint of surprise. Perhaps it was embarrassment. Mother, welcome, he said in a low voice. I walked in, a spacious hallway, a crystal chandelier, shiny marble floors, expensive paintings on the walls. Everything was a display of wealth. Every corner screamed, "We have money." Isabelle was waiting in the living room. She was wearing an elegant cream dress, a delicate gold necklace, and heels. Her hair was in perfect waves. She approached me, smiling slightly. "Cassandra, welcome," he said. His voice was kind but cold. He kissed me quickly on the cheek, but without touching me, airily. "Fake." "Thank you, Isabelle," I said quietly. "You have a beautiful home." "Thanks," she said, but her eyes were scanning my outfit. My old dress, my worn shoes, My cheap bag. I saw something fleeting on her face. Contempt or disappointment? Both? My family is waiting in the living room, Isabelle said. Come on, let me introduce you. We walked. We entered a large, magnificent living room. A huge sofa set, a fireplace, more paintings, expensive vases. And in the middle sat the Thorntons. The father, Gerald Thornton, in his 60s, dark gray suit, gray hair, piercing blue eyes, and an authoritative presence. He was sitting in a large chair, holding a glass of whiskey. He stood up when he saw me, but his expression remained unchanged. Mother, Vivienne Thornton, a slender, elegant, coldly beautiful woman. Dark green dress, diamond-encrusted wrists and neck, perfect makeup. She looked at me, and I saw it immediately. Judgment. That look in her eyes. That look that said, "Who are you?" That look that said, "Why are you here?" Mr. and Mrs. Thornton, Isabelle said politely. I present Ethan's mother, Cassandra. Gerald stepped forward. He held out his hand. We shook it. A weak, quick, indifferent handshake. Cassandra, welcome, he said mechanically. Thank you, I said softly. Vivienne stood up. Her high heels made her look taller. She walked toward me, looked me up and down, and then held out her hand. I gently squeezed her cold, bony fingers. I'm glad, Vivienne said, but her voice wasn't. Ethan didn't tell me much about you. There's not much to tell, I said modestly. I have an ordinary life. Vivienne raised her thin eyebrows. I see. We all sat down. I took the farthest seat in the corner, as if I shouldn't be there. No one motioned for me to sit. No one asked if I was uncomfortable. Gerald took another sip of his whiskey. So, Cassandra, he said slowly, do you live on your own, as Ethan mentioned? Yes, I said. For years. It must be difficult, Vivienne said, but there was no compassion in her voice. Only an observation, especially at this age. It's a tough situation for a woman. I bowed my head slightly. I'm used to it. And what do you do? Gerald asked. His voice was direct, sharp, almost interrogative. I work for a company, I said vaguely. Office work, paperwork, filing, simple stuff. Gerald and Vivienne looked at each other, a look filled with meaning. Oh, I see. Administrative work, said Gerald. Of course. Honest work. Every job is valuable. Of course, I said quietly. There was a silence. An awkward, tense silence. Then Vivienne laughed. A loud, artificial laugh. You mean, like a secretary? Similar, I said, lowering my eyes as if embarrassed. Vivienne nodded, looked at Gerald, then at Isabelle. There was something in her eyes. Satisfaction? Approval? How modest, Vivienne said. Ethan is truly very lucky. He learned simplicity from his mother. Simplicity. There's that damn word again. The maid entered, in her elegant uniform, holding a tray. She offered everyone drinks. Vivienne got champagne, Gerald a whiskey, Isabelle a white wine, Ethan a beer. When she reached me, Vivienne interrupted. Please bring water for Cassandra, she said to the maid. Plain water. I think that's more appropriate. The maid quietly withdrew. She brought me a plain glass of water. I thanked her. No one asked me what I wanted to drink. I felt very strange at that moment. People were behaving according to your economic status. No one liked me for who I was. They were judging me based on my appearance. Even though they didn't verbally discriminate, their every action made me feel like I was lower class and not at the same level of wealth as them. We sat at the dining table, a long, magnificent table. Gerald and Vivienne were at the head. Isabelle and Ethan were on one side, me on the opposite side, also far away, alone. Crystal glasses, silverware, porcelain plates were on the table. Everything was perfect. The food arrived. Small portions, artistic presentation, flashy names. Vivienne remarked on how expensive each plate was. This salmon comes from Alaska, $80 a kilo. You know, real quality. This mushroom is a rare species. It is specially imported from France. Its taste is incredible. This wine was produced in 1998. It costs $500. But believe me, it's worth every penny. Every sentence is a show-off, a reminder, we have money. You don't. I ate in silence, chewing slowly, small bites at a time. I didn't make eye contact with anyone. I acted like a poor, silent, downtrodden woman. Exactly what they wanted to see. Gerald turned to Ethan. Ethan, How are you doing? It's going well, Mr. Thornton, Ethan said. I'm working on a new project. It's promising. Good, good, said Gerald. He's a hard-working man. I like that. You'll make a good husband for Isabelle. Vivienne interjected. Of course. But Gerald, hard work alone isn't enough. Family support is important too. A marriage isn't just between two people. It's between two families. Absolutely, Gerald said. He looked at me. Cassandra, when Ethan and Isabelle get married, will you be able to help them in any way? The question was a trap. I sensed it. What kind of help? I asked softly. Financial, Gerald said directly. Marriages are expensive. The house, the wedding, the honeymoon. It's important to help young people. I remained silent. Then I nodded, as much as I could. Not a lot, but a little. Vivienne let out a small laugh. How cute! It all comes down to intent, doesn't it? The amount isn't important. But the sarcasm in his voice was clear. Your help is worthless, he said. Gerald continued. We spent $80,000 on Isabelle. Down payment on the house, wedding expenses, honeymoon. Everything has to be perfect. Because we value our children. His words hung in the air. The implication was clear. You didn't value your son. Ethan stretched. Mr. Thornton, my mother always did her best for me. Vivienne smiled. Of course, son. No one questions that. But let's be real. Not everyone has the same opportunities. And that's okay. We're here. We'll help. Because Isabelle is our princess. And your happiness is important to us too. Gerald added. So your mother doesn't have to worry. We'll take care of it. Cassandra just needs to relax, take care of herself. Old age is a hard time. Old age, like I was a burden, a problem. Anger began to boil inside me, but I suppressed it. I took a deep breath. I smiled. A weak, grateful smile. You're so kind. I really do. Vivienne looked at me. Cassandra, I'd like to ask you something. I hope you don't mind. Of course not. How did you raise Ethan? All by yourself? Was it hard? It was very difficult, I said in a low voice. But I did the best I could. Where was your father? Vivienne asked. Her voice was curious but filled with anger. Gone. Before Ethan was born. Vivienne nodded. I understand. You were abandoned. What a shame. Her words weren't compassionate. They were judgmental. Yes, I said quietly. And you raised a child on your own. It must have been tough. Financially, emotionally. Were you able to give Ethan a good education? Public school, I said. A good school. Ethan did well. Public school, Vivienne repeated. She looked at Gerald. Of course. Private school is very expensive. I understand. Isabelle was eating quietly. Ethan's hands were clenched into fists under the table. I could see it. Gerald continued. So, Cassandra, when Ethan gets married, what will you do? Will you still be working? Yes, I said, until I retire. When will you retire? In a few years. And then? Asked Vivienne. Will your pension be sufficient? Will you be able to live comfortably? I'll manage, I said. Vivienne sighed. Cassandra, I feel like I need to tell you something. And please don't take this the wrong way. Gerald and I love Ethan very much. Isabelle chose him, and we respect that. But at the same time, as a family, we have certain expectations. I understand, I said quietly. Ethan and Isabelle need to have their own lives, Vivienne said. Freely, without burdens. Burden? That's the word. He said it directly. I'm not a burden, I said softly but clearly. Vivienne immediately protested. No, you misunderstand. We don't see you as a burden, but the truth is, at your age, with your limited income, it's natural for Ethan to worry about you. And we don't want that worry to affect his marriage. Gerald joined in. So we have a proposition. Don't wait. The trap was coming. Gerald continued. We can give you a monthly amount. A small subsidy. That way you can live comfortably. Ethan won't worry. And everyone will be happy. How much? I asked. $600 a month, Gerald said. Should be enough. It'll cover your rent, your food, your basic needs. And in return, I asked. Vivienne smiled. In return, we just ask that you respect the distance. Give Ethan and Isabelle space. Don't call too often. Don't visit. Let them be free. Let them live their own lives. That's it. They wanted to buy me. They were offering me a bribe to get out of my son's life. Ethan exploded. This is unacceptable. My mother is not a burden. You can't treat her like this. Gerald retorted. Ethan, calm down. We're talking about everyone's well-being here. Your mother's too. My mom doesn't need anything like that. Ethan said. Vivienne spoke in a flat voice. Ethan, you're being emotional. We're being practical. Your mother is struggling. We're helping. What's the problem? Ethan looked at me. Mom, please say something. I looked at him. There was desperation in his eyes. There was anger, but there was also something else. Shame. He was still ashamed of me. He was trying to save her, but deep down, he believed I was truly poor, pathetic. I slowly stood up. Everyone looked at me. That's an interesting offer, I said quietly. It's truly generous. Vivienne smiled. I'm glad you understand. But I have a question, I said. My voice changed. It wasn't trembling anymore. It was clear and cold. You spent $80,000 on Isabelle. You're offering me $600 a month. How did you calculate that rate? Gerald frowned. I don't understand. I'd like to make a counteroffer accordingly, I said. What kind of counteroffer? Vivienne asked suspiciously. I took a small business card out of my bag. I put it on the table in front of Gerald. My business card. Gerald took it. He read it. His eyes widened. Vivienne looked at him, then grabbed the business card. She read it. Her face changed. She paled. Ethan looked at me in surprise. Mom, what is this? My real job, I said calmly. Cassandra Whitmore, senior partner, International Strategic Consulting. I've been in this business for 22 years. I advise about 500 companies. I earn $65,000 a month. My net worth is around $8 million. Silence. Absolute silence. So, I said, looking at Vivienne, I'm politely declining your offer of $600 a month. Gerald was the first to recover. He threw the business card on the table as if he'd burned his hand. This has to be a joke, he said. His voice was trembling. This is impossible. It's possible, I said calmly. And it's real. Vivienne jumped to her feet. Her hands were shaking. You deceived us. You came here and acted like a poor woman. You played us for fools. No, I said sharply. I simply gave you the opportunity to show me how to treat me. And you did a wonderful job. You were exactly what I expected. As expected? Snapped Gerald. Did you come here to test us? Yes, I said directly. Because my son was getting married, and I needed to know who the family was that he was going to marry into. I needed to see their character. And I did. I saw it with incredible clarity. Vivienne laughed angrily. You wanted to see our character? What about yours? I showed you as someone who lies, manipulates people, and plays games. I just put on a suit and hid my true self, I said. You showed your true character. You didn't wear any mask. You just were. Ethan was still in shock. His face was pale, his hands shaking. Mom, he said hoarsely, is this true? You really? Yes, son, I said, turning to him. Every word you say is true. I'm the senior partner. I've been working there for 22 years. I have clients from all over the world. I had money for you to go to college, but you didn't. It was your choice. I could have given you anything you wanted, but I didn't, because money is given to those who deserve it, and it's earned. Ethan closed his eyes. Why didn't you ever tell me? Because I wanted to raise you, not my money, I said. Because I didn't want to make you dependent, lazy, privileged. I wanted to make you a real man. And I did. Isabelle was crying silently, her hands covering her face. Gerald slammed his fist on the table. This is nonsense. You deliberately embarrassed us. You lied to us. I never lied to you, I said coldly. I simply withheld information. You made assumptions. Nasty, shallow, cruel assumptions. And based on those assumptions, you belittled me. Belittled me. Tried to buy me. We tried to help you. Vivienne shouted. No, I said harshly. You tried to silence me. You tried to cut me out of my son's life. Because I didn't fit your image. Because I wasn't rich enough. Not stylish enough. Not prestigious enough. Or so you thought. Vivienne was trembling. You trapped us. I just held up a mirror, I said. And you didn't like what you saw. Gerald took a deep breath. He was trying to collect himself. Okay, he said in a controlled but angry voice. Let's say you have money. Let's say you're important. That doesn't change the truth. You still lied. It's a character flaw. Maybe, I said. But at least I'm not trying to crush people with my money. I'm not trying to control anyone with my money. I have money, but I don't use it as a weapon against anyone. Neither did we, said Vivienne. Really? I raised my eyebrows. Then why are you offering me $600 a month and asking me to withdraw from my son's life in exchange? We just tried to set boundaries, Gerald said. No, I said sharply. You tried to buy me. You thought I was broke, desperate, and in need, and you tried to take advantage of that. But now you've learned that I'm richer than you, and that scares you. Vivienne's face turned bright red. We are not afraid of anyone. Then why are you so defensive? I asked. Why are you so angry? Because I spoiled your game. Because I am not someone you can control. Because I am a threat to your little empire. Gerald leaned forward. Look, Cassandra, maybe we were too harsh on you. Maybe we misunderstood the situation. But that doesn't justify what you did. You tested your family. That's not healthy. You're not my family, I said coldly. You are my son's mother-in-law. And yes, I tested you. Because Ethan didn't choose you. He chose Isabelle. And Isabelle is your product. You raised her with your values, your behaviors. That's why I needed to know you. Who you really are. Isabelle sobbed. I'm not like them. I looked at him. His face was covered in tears. His mask completely gone. You're not? I asked softly but sharply. Then what was that cold attitude you gave me? What was that expression you had when you looked at my outfit? You judged me the same way they did. You just didn't say it. Isabelle stuttered. You only acted as they taught, I said. They taught you that people's worth is measured by their money. They taught you that poverty is a flaw, a deficiency. And you accepted it, without questioning it. Isabelle shook her head, crying. I'm sorry, I really am. Not to me, I said. You need to apologize to yourself. Because you've already replaced your values with theirs. And that's going to make you unhappy. Ethan finally spoke. His voice was broken but firm. Mom, I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. If I had known, what would you do? I asked. Would you treat me differently? Would you be less ashamed of me? Would you be more proud? I'm not ashamed of you. Ethan shouted. You were embarrassed. I said quietly but firmly. You were embarrassed when he asked me to dress simply. You were embarrassed when you told them little about me. You were embarrassed when you sat me in that farthest seat and remained silent. When no one helped. Tears welled up in Ethan's eyes. Mom, please. I don't blame you, son, I said, my voice softer. I understand. You love Isabelle, and you want her family to accept you. But it shouldn't have come at the cost of you sacrificing me. You're right, Ethan said. Tears streamed down his cheeks. You're absolutely right. I was scared. I was scared they wouldn't like you. Scared you'd reject me. Scared I'd lose Isabelle. And in that fear, I should have protected you. But I didn't. I know, I said. But now you know. And now you have to make a choice. Gerald interjected. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. There's no choice here. Ethan and Isabelle are getting married. That's closed. No, I said, looking at Gerald. The subject is not closed, because the rules have changed. I am no longer a pathetic, poor, silenceable woman. I am strong, rich, and fearless, and I will be in my son's life, whether you accept it or not. Vivienne laughed sarcastically. What are you going to do? Scare us with my money? No, I said. I'll scare you with the truth. The truth is, Ethan is my son, and I will always be there for him. I don't need your approval. I don't need your money. I don't even need your respect. All I want is for my son to be happy. Then get out of the way, Gerald said harshly. Because you're not bringing her happiness. You're bringing chaos. Am I bringing chaos? I smiled, but it was a cold smile. Isn't your $80,000 an aid? Your constant desire to control? Your use of money as a weapon chaos? We love them, Vivienne shouted. You control them, I corrected. Love doesn't control. Love gives freedom. But for you, money is a way of creating dependency. You give it, then you threaten to take it back. You keep them in debt. Gerald stood up. Dinner is over. Get out of my house now. With pleasure, I said. I picked up my bag. Then I turned to Gerald. But before I go, I have something to tell you. I'm never coming to this house again. I'm never eating with you again. I won't ask you for anything. I won't accept anything from you. Because I don't need people like you. Good, said Vivienne. Because we don't need you either. But Ethan hears it, I said quietly. And Isabelle will hear it too, in time. Because you couldn't give them love with our money. You can only give them chains. I walked toward the door. Ethan came up behind me. Mom, wait! I turned. Ethan. It's your decision. You and Isabelle will decide what you want together. I'm not forcing you, but know this. I'm always your mother. I'm always here. No matter how much money I have, that won't change. I know, Ethan said. He hugged me tightly. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't apologize, I whispered in his ear. Just learn, and don't make the same mistake again. We broke apart from the hug. I looked at Isabelle. She was still crying. Isabelle, I said, you have a good heart. I know that. But you're getting lost in your parents' shadow. Find your own voice. Identify your own values. Otherwise, you won't be happy. Isabelle nodded, unable to speak. I went out. I walked through the wide hall, opened the door, and stepped outside. The cold night air hit my face. I took a deep breath. I was free. Completely free. I took out my phone and called a taxi. It arrived 5 minutes later. I got in, and I closed the door. Where are we going? Asked the driver. I gave my address. The address of my modest apartment. Small, simple, but mine. The taxi pulled away. I looked back. The lights of Thornton Mansion were receding, and a weight lifted from my chest. The driver glanced at me in the mirror. Was it a rough night? Actually, I said with a smile, it was a very enlightening night. The next afternoon, Ethan called. Mom, can we talk? Of course, son. Isabelle and I talked a lot, for hours. And we made some decisions. I am listening. First of all, Ethan said, I owe you an apology. A real, deep, heartfelt apology. I should have protected you. I should have defended you. But I didn't. Their acceptance of me became more important to me than your happiness. And that's terrible. Ethan, no, Mom. Let me finish, she said. Isabelle's family helped us a lot. But that help was a trap. Every time they gave it, they thought they had the right to control us. And we accepted it. But not anymore. What are you going to do? I asked. We told them, we will have the wedding with our own money. We will buy our house with our own efforts. We will pay for our honeymoon ourselves. We don't want any aid. I was surprised. Ethan, this is a big decision. Are you sure? I'm sure, he said firmly. Because you were right. Money means control, and I don't want to be controlled. I want to be free. Tears welled up in my eyes. I'm proud of you, son. Isabelle's parents were furious. She continued. Vivienne shouted. Gerald threatened. But Isabelle stood up to them. For the first time. For the first time in her life, she said no to her parents. And it was very hard for her. But she did it. That's brave, I said. Tell Isabelle I'm proud of her. He wants to tell you himself, Ethan said. He wants to see you. He wants to apologize. He really wants to apologize. Okay? I said. When? Tomorrow? Lunch? Somewhere of your choosing. Okay? I said. 1 o'clock. I'll text you the address. The next day, we met at a small cafe. It wasn't fancy. It wasn't expensive. But it was warm and welcoming. When Ethan and Isabelle arrived, Isabelle's eyes were red. She had clearly not slept. They sat down. There was silence for a while. Then Isabelle spoke. Cassandra, I want to apologize to you. Truly. Sincerely. I'm listening. I said softly. My entire life, I've lived by the values my parents taught me, Isabelle said. Her voice was trembling. Money is everything. Appearances matter. People are judged by their status. And I never questioned it. Until that evening. What happened that evening? I asked. I saw you, Isabelle said. At first you looked like a pathetic woman. And I thought, is that Ethan's mother? Is that my mother-in-law? And I was ashamed. I'm ashamed of being ashamed. But it's true. I was ashamed of you. I listened silently. But then, Isabelle said, when I learned the truth, everything changed. Because you were powerful, successful, rich. And in that moment, I realized I had judged you for what you wore. I had judged you for your money. Or rather, for the money I thought you didn't have. And that disgusted me. I disgusted myself. Isabelle, I began. Please, let me finish. She said, my parents never taught me empathy. They never taught me respect. They only taught me how to show off, how to act superior, how to handle money. And I accepted those things. But I don't accept them anymore. That takes courage, I said, to go against your own family. You did it, Isabelle said. You fought for your son all by yourself, even when you had nothing. And you raised him to be a wonderful man. My parents had everything, but they raised me to be an unhappy person. You're not unhappy, I said. You just feel lost, but you can find it. How? Isabelle asked. By defining your own values, I said. By deciding what's important to you. Is it money, prestige, or vanity? Or is it love, honesty, freedom? Isabelle thought. Then she spoke. Love, honesty, freedom. Then fight for them, I said. You don't have to carry on your parents' values. Choose your own path. Isabelle began to cry. I disappointed you. I'm sorry. You didn't disappoint me, I said. I took his hand. You're just learning, and learning takes time. I'm patient. Ethan looked at me. Mom, I want to say one more thing. Yes? I want to know about your life, your career, your accomplishments, he said. Everything. Because I don't know you, the real you. And it's my fault. But I want to change. I smiled. You just have to be willing to learn. We sat in that cafe for 3 hours. We talked, we laughed. We sometimes cried. And for the first time, I felt like they were a real family. Without masks, without lies, without expectations. As we were leaving, Isabelle hugged me. Thank you, she said, for teaching me the lesson. You learned the lesson yourself, I said. I just held up the mirror. When I got home, my phone rang. A number I didn't recognize. I answered. Cassandra Whitmore? A woman's voice. Yes? I'm Vivienne Thornton. I stopped. I'm listening. I didn't want to call you, Vivienne said. Her voice was strained. But Gerald forced me. He said we had to tell you something. What? A long silence. Then, we're sorry. I was surprised. Are you apologizing? Yes, Vivienne said. Her voice was broken. We thought wrong about you. We treated you wrong and it was terrible. Thank you, I said quietly. But, Vivienne said, I still don't love you. I still don't approve of you. And I don't want a relationship with you. I understand, I said. And that's your choice. I respect it. Okay, Vivienne said. She hung up. Gerald never called. I wasn't expecting it anyway. Months passed. Ethan and Isabelle postponed their plans to marry. They said they wanted to start their own lives first. They wanted to buy their own house. The Thorntons offered to help, but they refused. There was tension. There were arguments. But eventually the Thorntons agreed. A year later, Ethan and Isabelle had a small but beautiful wedding. Few guests, simple decorations, but so much love. The Thorntons came but sat quietly in the corner. Gerald didn't even look at me. Vivienne met my gaze only once, then quickly looked away. But Isabelle came to me and hugged me. My new mother, she said, not biological, but real. And that day I realized that the victory wasn't in my money. The victory was in my son's smile. It was in Isabelle being free. It was in the truth winning. I still live in my humble apartment. I still wear my old clothes. I still live simply. Because money hasn't changed me. Power hasn't changed me. I'm still Cassandra. It's just that no one thinks I'm pathetic anymore. The lesson we can learn from this story is that money comes later than human values. We should not judge people for their appearances, their economic situation, or any other situation. This is a very sorry behavior. Why? Don't people love us for who we are? Do we have to be successful for them to love us? Do you think Cassandra did the right thing? I am waiting for you to write in the comments what you would do if you were in his place. Thanks for watching. You can listen to my other stories by clicking on the videos that appear on the screen. See you in new stories.